The question you have to be asking yourself is, how do I change? What is it that I need to do? Like, how do I change what's happening so that I can gain the health that I want and the life that I want, so I can ditch this weight, stop worrying about dieting, stop having food driving my life? So what is it that we can do to make that change? This is Katie Gordon, and you're listening to the Wait is Over podcast. Welcome, health and freedom seekers. Sit back and relax as you come on this journey of overcoming obstacles so you can lose weight, gain health, and live the life you've been looking for. Hello, freedom seekers, and welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Katie Gordon, and the wait is over with Dietless Living 360 degrees. There's no recipes, no food regimes, no exercise programs to follow. This is simply about how to take your life back, how to take control, because we all have a voice and we want to be heard. We want to forget about dieting, focus on living, and lose weight. And to do that, we have to develop our personal health leadership skills so that we can find our freedom through a new state of mind that actually moves us beyond the obstacles and challenges of our own unconscious programs, because it's ultimately what's really impacting on our weight and health and causing habit relapse. And the purpose of this podcast is to share with you what I learned over 25 years in dieting hell and spending over $100,000 working out how to step into dietless living. So tell me, do you get angry that you're a slave to food? I know it used to absolutely piss me off that food drove my life. It's such a surreal moment, isn't it? When you're standing there, you're having this kind of out-of-body experience, watching yourself eating and wondering, why can't I control this? Why can't I stop? Why am I actually putting food in my mouth that I know I've decided I'm not going to eat? Why am I cheating on myself? I mean, I just never really understood why there could be this kind of split between what I really wanted and what I was actually doing in the moment. And this is the shit that really erodes at our confidence and image that we have of ourselves. We think it's an us thing, that no one else is suffering this way and that everyone else has got self-control. And you wonder how the heck that you can actually step out of this madness and lose the weight and not have it relapse and pile it all back on again, right? Because if you're like me, you've lost weight, you've put weight back on, you've lost weight, you've put weight back on many times. And you just can't sit around feeling apathetic and disempowered by your own inability to change, can you? I mean, it just isn't an option. It's something that we fall into for sure, and, happens many times, but it's not an option. It's not a place that we can stay at. So the question you have to be asking yourself is, how do I change? What is it that I need to do? Like, how do I change what's happening so that I can gain the health that I want and the life that I want, so I can ditch this weight, stop worrying about dieting, stop having food driving my life? So what is it that we can do to make that change? Now, that question took me a quarter of a century to find an answer for. And here's 7 things that I discovered and how I found my freedom. So number 1, you have to gain clarity and understand the root cause of your eating habits and behaviours and learn how to navigate them effectively. And it's not just the traumas of your life, although that stuff might all be tangled up in there. It's far more universal than that. And that's why I developed the 3 systems of health consciousness model. So you can find all the answers in one simple training video. Understanding your 3 systems of health consciousness is actually instrumental in being able to anticipate and prevent habit relapse. And number 2, The way that we lose weight has to actually fit in with the life we live, the life that you live, the life that I live, the life that other person lives. It has to be an individual thing. It can't be a one size fits all, because that never works, because we all have a different life. We all have a different background. We have different cultures. We have different norms, which means that you need an approach that encompasses a 360-degree approach to your weight and health and happiness that actually works for you in the long run. This means it has to incorporate all facets of your life, and it has to incorporate your own individual preferences, your own individual skills and ability, your own individual fitness level. It has to be tailor-made to you. And that's why Dietless Living is a 360-degree approach. It's about having the capacity to lead your own life in such a way that your health and well-being are not compromised by work, family, responsibilities, and the pressures of life and the challenges of life. Number 3, you have to develop your personal health leadership skills, which means stepping up and taking responsibility and developing the mindset and strategies so that you can lead yourself towards the health and life that you actually truly want and deserve. And personal health leadership is uniquely a dietless living approach to losing weight and gaining health. Because until we have the skills and capacity that we need to lead ourselves, we will always be at the mercy of emotional and impulse eating and those internal driving forces. And number 4, we have to assemble a team. That old saying that it takes a village to raise a child is actually true for us in every aspect of our life. We have to have people around us who will help us raise ourselves, who will help us raise ourselves up from the ashes, up from the couch, and do the things that we said we would do. And I eventually assembled Team Katie. Now, my team consisted of trusted, unreasonable friends who I could discuss my challenges with. And unreasonable friends mean that while they were empathetic, while they loved me and they cared about me and they wanted me to succeed, they did not agree with me that I was disempowered or helpless. They helped me to see that I could be proactive and that I could get myself up and move myself forward, and that I was capable of problem solving what was happening in my life, what I wanted to change. They encouraged me and they gave me a good kick up the bum when I needed one so that I would work the program that I had set in place for myself. They helped me to help myself. They coached me to coach myself. And number 5 is learn about food. Good, healthy, sustaining food really isn't rocket science. But we don't realize that because there's so much debate out there over what is good for us and what isn't. And it depends who's peddling what food as to what they're pushing. And even if they're not peddling a food, if they're not, marketing something or working for a company, it's still very ambiguous, because whatever you look up on the internet for one food, you will find contradictory information about it. You have to have a system for working out what works for you and your body and your health and your energy. This is an individual thing, but I can say universally, it won't be processed foods, right? They've never been good for anyone. But the rest of what is good for you, what isn't good for you, it really isn't rocket science, but there is a system that you can take on to be able to work it out. And it wasn't until I actually wrote out my timeless guidelines for selecting food that I found my food freedom. We need to take responsibility and ownership of our life, and we don't need someone else telling us what to eat or what not to eat. We need to know how to make great choices for ourselves, which means building knowledge and understanding for ourselves, of ourselves, and the food that we're eating. And being able to differentiate between the good, the bad, and the ugly. And number 6, Moving our body daily, physical fitness. We need to be building strong muscles. Strong muscles are essential to good health. It's what holds our body together. Our muscles are holding our skeletal system together. It's holding all our organs in place. And we need to have a strong muscular system to be able to enjoy life right now and all the way through. If you don't have the muscle strength to be able to cart yourself around, like, what are you going to be doing? Muscle strength is essential. It's not about building muscles and, being a bodybuilder. It's about being able to carry your suitcase when you want to go on a holiday. It's about being able to get on and off buses and trains and planes. It's about being able to sit for long times in a plane when you're on a flight to a happy adventure. It's about being able to go on a bike ride with your grandkids or with your kids or just with your husband or wife. It's about being able to move your own furniture around the house. It's about being able to get yourself off the floor or being able to climb a ladder so you can get things out of the top of the cupboard. Having a strong, fit, muscular body is about living life. We sit way too much. So it really is essential to great health to build your muscular system and not only live longer, but make every lap around the sun enjoyable. And daily exercise doesn't have to mean trips to the gym every day, because that's really just unsustainable for the majority of people. But moving our bodies and building our muscle strength through fun activities that we love and that we have chosen for ourselves is actually essential. Discovering what floats your boat and creating your own exercise program is highly motivating and leads to wanting to do it, as it's self-motivating, as you feel fabulous when you do it. And number 7 is actually about breaking free from stress and anxiety. It's about building your mental and emotional fitness as well, because it's equally as important as physical fitness. In fact, they go together like a hand in a glove. And I truly stepped into my freedom when I stepped out of living in stress and anxiety and developed my own fundamentals and mindful awareness programs, as these are an essential part of living a diet-free life. Diets will never work unless we get a handle on impulse and emotional eating. And when we do get a handle on impulse and emotional eating, dieting's no longer necessary. Are you ready to step into personal health leadership and find your freedom? Freedom is found in your confidence and ability to be self-directed in the habits and behaviors that will lead you to your greatest health and weight loss success. Don't let confusion hold you back any longer. It's time to take the reins of your health and start living your best life. It's your life. Step out of the waiting room, grab those reins, and be involved in how it turns out. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave me a comment, and share it with your friends. And if you want more help with this, just book in for a private session and let's just get it done this week. Because life is for living, and an ounce of adjustment is always easier to implement than 20 pounds of change. Find your freedom and enjoy the life you've been looking for.